Morning of Terror in Jalisco. Marines take down 5 Cjng mobsters. The hours of terror and suspense continue in Jalisco. In recent weeks, security operations have intensified in Jalisco, which would have seemed impossible considering that the state is the stronghold of the feared Jalisco New Generation Cartel. In recent weeks, Mexican law enforcement, in conjunction with intelligence agencies, have managed to destabilize the cartel in its own capital, so to speak. The continuous and hard-hitting blows from the Army, the Mexican Navy, the National Guard, and police forces have fractured the Cjng's structure, creating operational gaps. It's worth noting that in recent days, in a flawless deployment of law enforcement forces along with the Drug Enforcement Administration, they successfully raided a brewery in Jalisco, likely linked to the Mencho Cervantes alias El Mencho. This establishment served as a cartel operations center. You can watch the video on our channel for more information. Weeks ago, there was even a raid on a presumed hideout of a Cervantes in Jalisco. I also recommend watching it on our channel. There is no doubt that security agencies in the state of Jalisco have intensified their actions, and the presence of the DEA in many of these operations puts the dangerous cartel on high alert. But why now? Perhaps it's due to the ongoing narco war that keeps the cartel occupied in Tierra Caliente, or Cervantes' obsession with entering Michoacán seems to be costing him stability and dominance in the land where the Cjng originated. Authorities are relentlessly targeting key points for the cartel in the region. There have been reports of the killing of an alleged Cjng leader and the capture of another by the Mexican Navy. After years of terror, where the cartel seemed entirely immune due to its power, the residents of Jalisco finally have a moment of peace and the sense of security that they haven't felt in years. Nevertheless, the war against drug trafficking is far from over, and today is evidence of that. Stay with us as today I'll talk you about the morning of terror in Jalisco due to a confrontation between hitmen from the Jalisco New Generation Cartel and the Mexican Navy. Join us until the end, but not before reminding you to subscribe to the channel if you're new, support us with your powerful like, and activate the notification bell. That helps us a lot to keep growing and bringing investigative and up-to-the-minute content, especially for you. Now, let's begin. This morning was stained with terror amid an intense hail of bullets between authorities and hitmen from the Jalisco New Generation Cartel. The operation, led by the Mexican Navy, ended in a confrontation and subsequent killing of 5 mobsters belonging to the Cjng, an event that took place in a strategic area for the cartel, serving as a conduit for the passage of illicit substances at all hours of the day. This confrontation escalated tensions in the region, with caravans of hitmen mobilizing to other points in the locality. This incident highlights the challenges that authorities face in their ongoing fight against organized crime. In a coordinated operation, elements of the Mexican Navy carried out an operation in a strategic location. According to information gathered from recent attacks against the cartel, this location is part of a route belonging to the Jalisco New Generation Cartel for the transportation of illicit substances and the mobilization of other essential elements for the cartel's operations in Jalisco. The confrontation sparked a fierce exchange of gunfire between law enforcement and armed members of the hitmen's group belonging to the criminal organization led by Mencho Cervantes. This confrontation resulted in the killing of 5 alleged cartel hitmen. Local information sources state that Navy members acted in self-defense while patrolling the area and were attacked by cartel members who were displeased with their presence, initiating an armed conflict with security forces. The gunfire exchange ended with 5 mobsters of the cartel killed, while other members of the Cjng patrol managed to escape. Fortunately, there were no civilian casualties as collateral damage. Authorities classified this operation as a significant advance against cartel operations, as it confirmed that the strategic point is indeed frequented by members of the Cjng. Imposing and maintaining security forces in the area would mean taking away an important route for the cartel's mobilization of supplies. In the same vein, there arises the need to stay alert in the area for possible retaliations or adjustments in criminal activities that could lead cartel death squads to try to reclaim the area now under control of the authorities. As expected, these types of operations not only affect those involved in illicit activities, but also generate great concern in the local community. It is common for the civilian population to become entangled in violence, making fear for the safety and well-being of ordinary citizens a constant worry. In response to this, local authorities, in conjunction with the Navy, are working to provide reassurance to the population and reinforce security measures in the locality. Let's remember that the Jalisco New Generation Cartel has been a dominant force in the Mexican drug trafficking scene, causing violence and massacres wherever it attempts to expand. Its presence, along with its significant power and influence in Jalisco, has been a constant concern for authorities. Operations to weaken the infrastructure and leadership of different components of the Cjng are part of a broader strategy that appears to respond to coordinated and decisive attacks in areas where the cartel struggles to respond. It's worth noting that the Cjng is still fighting a narco war in Michoacán against local cartels, a situation that authorities are taking advantage of to weaken it as much as possible in its hometown and, if possible, expel it. However, the high degree of resources and organization of the cartel continues to pose a considerable challenge for authorities. As a result of this operation, authorities opted for deploying troops in the area to reinforce security, maintain control over the supply route taken from the cartel, and prevent possible reprisals against the locality. It is expected that this event will emphasize the need for constant presence of authorities in localities to provide an immediate and proactive response to the region. Intelligence monitoring of cartel activities combined with information gathered in previous operations has been essential to locate areas of interest or strategic points of the Cjng, which is crucial for anticipating and responding to possible movements by the cartel. There can be no doubt about the importance and relevance of the information that can be gathered in these operations. This is perhaps a response to the question that arose regarding the destruction of their operational bases and hideouts by members of the same cartel when they had to abandon them. More than escaping, the priority for the mobsters was to eliminate any relevant information that could lead authorities to strike new blows against the criminal organization. How will the cartel respond to this action by the security forces? It is impossible to guess what kind of valuable information law enforcement may have recovered in previous operations. Nevertheless, the results can be seen in the recent and decisive blows that law enforcement has dealt to the criminal organization led by Mencho Cervantes. Will Mencho abandon the narco war in Michoacán to return to Jalisco? On the other hand, will security forces succeed in weakening the cartel enough to expel it from the region, which would be a drastic change in the power dynamics observed in the development of the so-called war on drugs? Let us know your opinion on the matter in the comment section. Well, that's it for today's video. Before saying goodbye, I would like to thank you for joining us until the end. Every contribution counts to keep growing as an informative channel, bringing you the latest news and high-quality investigative content. I would like to remind you to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Leave your powerful like and comment. That really supports us a lot. With nothing more to say, I bid farewell until the next video.